Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Art is never finished, only abandoned. Learning never exhausts the mind. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Water is the driving force of all nature. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. Time stays long enough for anyone who will use it. He who loves practice without theory is like the sailor who boards a ship without a rudder and compass, and never knows where he may cast. Iron rusts from disuse, water loses its purity from stagnation. Even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. The human foot is a masterpiece of engineering and a work of art. Art is the queen of all sciences communicating knowledge to all the generations of the world. Nature never breaks her own laws. A well-spent day brings happy sleep. Painting is poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen. All our knowledge has its origins in our perceptions. He who wishes to be rich in a day will be hanged in a year. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so a life well spent brings happy death. The human heart is as a frail craft on which we wish to reach the stars. While I thought that I was learning how to live, I have been learning how to die. The greatest wisdom is in simplicity. I love those who can smile in trouble. Realize that everything connects to everything else. Study without desire spoils the memory, and it retains nothing that it takes in. He who does not punish evil commands it to be done. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. O wretched mortals, open your eyes. You do ill if you praise, and still worse if you reprove in a matter you do not understand. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. The soul is contented when it is sad. Patience serves as a protection against wrongs, as clothes do against cold, for if you put on more clothes as the cold increases, it will have no power to hurt you. Nature never deceives us. It is we who deceive ourselves. Wisdom is the daughter of experience. He who is fixed to a star does not change his mind. As every divided kingdom falls, so every mind divided between many studies confounds and saps itself. Art is the queen of all sciences communicating knowledge to all the generations of the world. Painting is concerned with all the 10 attributes of sight, which are darkness, light, solidity and color, form and position, distance and propinquity, motion and rest. It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things. Just as food eaten without appetite is a tedious nourishment, so does study without zeal damage the memory by not assimilating what it absorbs. In rivers, the water that you touch is the last of what has passed and the first of that which comes. So with present time, it is easier to resist at the beginning than at the end. The smallest feline is a masterpiece. Men of lofty genius, when they are doing the least work, are most active. All knowledge which ends in words will die as quickly as it came to life, with the exception of the written word, which is its mechanical part. You do ill if you praise, and still worse if you reprove in a matter you do not understand. Marriage is like putting your hand into a bag of snakes in the hope of pulling out an eel. There is no object so large but that at a great distance from the eye does not appear smaller, and a smaller object near. Experience is a truer guide than the words or precepts of others. The knowledge of all things is possible. Study the science of art. Study the art of science. Develop your senses, especially learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. Art is never finished, only abandoned. You need power only when you want to do something harmful. Otherwise, love is enough to get everything done. I have no further use for America. I wouldn't go back there if Jesus Christ was president. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. My pain may be the reason for somebody's laugh, but my laugh must never be the reason for somebody's pain. Man as an individual is a genius, but men in the mass form the headless monster, a great, brutish idiot that goes where prodded. I remain just one thing, and one thing only, a clown. It places me on a far higher plane than any politician. I have many problems in my life, but my lips don't know that. They always smile. We're all condemned to be puppets, and you have to stand up and look it in the face. Life is a tragedy when seen in close-up, but a comedy in long shot. This is a ruthless world, and one must be ruthless to cope with it. I am not a dictator, and I do not think I will become one. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. The basic essential of a great actor is that he loves himself in acting. We are not machines. Imagination means nothing without doing. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. I suppose that's one of the ironies of life, doing the wrong thing at the right moment. I am not a political man, and I have no political convictions. I want to be alone. I remain just one thing, and one thing only, and that is a clown. We can never be free until we learn to laugh at ourselves. To love and be loved is to feel the sun from both sides. In the light of our egos, we are all dethroned monarchs. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. Life is a tragedy when seen in close-up, but a comedy in long shot. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. To truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it. In the end, everything is a gag. A day without laughter is a day wasted. Failure is unimportant. It takes courage to make a fool of yourself. The mirror is my best friend because when I cry, it never laughs. Words are cheap. The biggest thing you can say is elephant. To do all the talking and not be able to listen, that's a sign of a big bore. Life is wonderful if you know how to live. You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. We think too much and feel too little. You'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down. I don't believe that the public knows what it wants. This is the conclusion that I have drawn from my career. I always like walking in the rain, so no one can see me crying. That's the trouble with the world. We all despise ourselves. Laughter is the tonic, the relief, the surcease for pain. To truly understand life, one must first live. Life can be wonderful if you're not afraid of it. The saddest thing I can imagine is to get used to luxury. What do you want meaning for? Life is a desire, not a meaning. I am for people. I can't help myself.